I know after a few years in office.
For me, there's a simple rule in politics. Never, ever be surprised by what happens in politics.
The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Truth shall hold to the last.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
Leader of the opposition says he is not the face of racism, and also business establishments be on the alert because bandits are out there and they would want to rob you of your hard earnings, and also they could also seriously hurt your employees and customers. Welcome to another edition of NewsSpin right here on Power 97.9 FM. We are also on YouTube and the NewsSpin Facebook page. In a moment, your calls at 452-2979. That's 452-2979, along with your WhatsApp calls and messages, 716-2026, and that is 716-2026. Kimani will be going through some of your comments in the chat room. We also have our NewsSpin question of the day, as well as the NewsSpin news of the day. So as always, we have a very packed schedule for our broadcast today. Topping the agenda, I received a call this morning. It's from a concerned citizen, very much a concerned individual. And he was saying to me that he is very much not only afraid, but he is watching closely what is happening in our country. And he is fretting over some of the things that are being said by politicians and leaders in the country, and how this is going unnoticed apparently by some individuals, or it's a case where civil society is literally ignoring those unacceptable comments that are being made. And also, he is taken aback by the calls for people to deny, efforts to deny St. Lucians the right to hold leadership positions in our country. So, if for whatever reason a pregnant woman is about to give birth, she's ill, and she decides that for her well-being as that of her baby, she would want to seek medical attention overseas. As has been happening for decades now, whether you turn to the United States, turn to Barbados, or Martinique, that infant, when he or she returns to St. Lucia, they are seen as a second-class citizen. And that kind of thing has not been part of our DNA. It has not been part of life in St. Lucia. We have all been able to coexist. You never ask somebody you go to school with, your friends, you lime with them, etc. You go to parties. It doesn't matter whether they were born in St. Lucia. It doesn't matter whether they are Indian or of African descent, whether they are Syrians or whether they are white. We don't care about those things. But politicians, some of them at least, have been able to play on the minds and the ignorance of some St. Lucian citizens. Those people who see things through a particular prism, whether it's through black or white, where you're from, whether you are male or female, being misogynistic, hating women and so on. And definitely, this certainly has to be nipped in the bud. Because I think at the root, at the soul of what is happening right now, what is taking root and taking shape in our country is politics, is winning an election at all cost. So the Grenadian Prime Minister, I don't like to use that term, a foreigner, a foreign national lands in St. Lucia. He is invited to a political activity, a conference of the St. Lucia Labour Party, and he goes on to preach to citizens that you must, the next time we have a general election in St. Lucia, vote for St. Lucians. What do you mean by that? There are certainly guidelines, there are stipulations as to who can contest elections in St. Lucia. Number one, you should not have dual citizenship, should have been residing in St. Lucia for a particular period, so you earn the right to be elected into office as an MP. And how do you become the Prime Minister of the country? Not on the basis of being white, black, Indian, or being born in St. Lucia or born overseas. It's on the basis of the majority of the elected MPs putting their confidence in you. And I'm being told this is not the first time the St. Lucia Labour Party has tried to surreptitiously bring this whole issue before the St. Lucian public and to play on their psyche. This thing about you have to be born in St. Lucia. I'm told that the same attempt was being made from 1974, between 1974 and 1979, just before the island attained political independence. And reference were being made incessantly to the fact that Sir John Compton was not born in St. Lucia, seen as a foreigner. Born in Canouan. I don't know if people like Mr. Peter Josie would have been part of that ilk, that group of politicians who were looking at things from that perspective then. But Sir John Compton turned out to be, not arguably, some people say arguably, no, turned out to be St. Lucia's best Prime Minister, St. Lucia's most successful Prime Minister. He had foresight, and he had a vision as well for our country. Take, for example, Rodney Bay. I mean, so many people, I'm told, again, were against that project. And many of the critics are now living in that part of the island. The Millennium Highway, they said he had tunnel vision when he wanted to construct the tunnel there. What has happened? Right now, we're making a hash of the project, we're making a mess of it, by not being able to rehabilitate the roads that are linking the tunnel with the cul-de-sac and, of course, the West Coast Road and the East Coast Road, and so on. So people have to guard against those efforts. When politicians are playing on the emotions of citizens. And so the Grenadian press has been reporting about the misdeeds or the error that was made by the Prime Minister of Grenada, Dickon Mitchell.
Big tonight. Public Relations Officer of St. Lucia's Opposition United Workers' Party, Leonard Montoute, has called comments made by the Grenada Prime Minister on a political platform in St. Lucia unfortunate and shows that what he says is Dickon Mitchell's political inexperience. Mitchell, also into his third year as a political leader and less than a year and a half of being Prime Minister, told a Congress meeting of the ruling St. Lucia Labour Party that they should be careful not to elect anyone that is not born there. It was seen as a direct dig at former Prime Minister Alan Chastany, who was born in Martinique but is St. Lucian. Mitchell's comment came just as the opposition UWP said the SLP was planning to use its parliamentary majority to ensure only a St. Lucian-born individual could become Prime Minister of this country. Speaking on the narrative Tuesday, Montoute said the Grenada Prime Minister's interjection was interference in St. Lucia's domestic affairs.
I consider, well, he is probably green in the business. I would make the excuse for him and say it's a function of naivete. I mean, he should, as nonetheless, know better than to get involved in St. Lucia's domestic politics to that extent. And as a leader, I think it would be misguided to be making such a pronouncement. Of course, he perhaps was pandering to the St. Lucia Labour Party. We know many that have fallen for their bluff. It was unfortunate that he too was probably misguided by what he had been told by them. But I think as a leader, it is unfortunate to have such a stance because this is not the kind of ideology we wish to push in this region.
Regional political analyst Peter Wickham, also speaking on the narrative, called the Grenadian leader's comments inappropriate.
I think it's unfortunate. And I find it a bit inappropriate. You know, if Grenada wants to go in that direction, which I suspect that they won't, then maybe Dickon Mitchell could want to recommend that. But I think it's inappropriate to be suggesting to St. Lucians that this is something that you want to do, clearly because you're trying to curry favor with the St. Lucia Labour Party that seems to be trying to find creative means and mechanisms of keeping Alan Chastany out of politics.
There was no immediate comment from Prime Minister Mitchell, who was on a plane Tuesday on his way to Saudi Arabia for a high-level CARICOM summit in the kingdom. He had just returned from Doha last weekend. Mitchell, who has been putting in many air miles in recent months, is also set to go to Dubai for the COP conference later in the month.
Now, this latest round of discussion on calling for the Prime Minister of the country to be born in St. Lucia must be a native of the country. It started when? The new round I'm talking about. It was on November the 9th, during his program, Can I Help You? The host of the program called in from overseas, I think is Argentina, where he's attending a conference, and he made the following statement on that broadcast.
I don't know how the Prime Minister feels. I want to make it categorically clear, and that's my disclaimer here. I do not speak from a governmental standpoint. I repeat, I do not speak from a governmental standpoint. I speak from a standpoint of the personal convictions of Richard Frederick. The Constitution, now more than ever, beg for an amendment that if you were not born in St. Lucia, you should never be Prime Minister.
You just heard there from Richard Frederick once again on his program, Can I Help You, last Thursday. It's a good time for him to hear from you right now at 452-2979, 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. Good afternoon to you, Kimani, and your first report on the chat room.
Good afternoon, Tim. Someone says, PJP, where is our apology? Another comment in the chat room. Someone says, are you implying that we should not have a policy for foreigners because something was okay back then? Should we not seek to normalize it? Another comment on YouTube. Someone says, Tim, that is not true. It has been happening in our school system. It is just happening now in our highest office. Someone says, good day, my non-racist UWP. We love everyone. Black Lives Matter, half White Lives Matter. Coolie Lives Matter, half Coolie Lives Matter. White Lives Matter. SLP, stop the hating and dividing the people. Someone says they're currently watching from Dubai, where they are 8 hours ahead. Looking forward to yet another great show. That is it. Tim.
Thank you so much. Let us hear from Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre. We had a story on the DBS News World last evening, and he denies that there is any attempt by his administration to amend the Constitution so that it's only people who are born in St. Lucia who can be Prime Minister of the island.
The opposition, as usual, are spreading the red herring. The opposition is desperate. The opposition has lost its way. And I want to assure the political solutions that there has never been any discussion about changing the Constitution as far as we are concerned. When we altered the Constitution for the Caribbean Court of Justice, we gave the prerequisite 90 days. Constitutions are not changed like that. So I think it is disrespect to the people of St. Lucia for the opposition to be peddling these untruths.
Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre, I think we have our first call in line. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air. Good afternoon.
Tim, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm okay, caller. Good afternoon to you.
Yeah, wow. Now we have stopped everything, and our focus now is the same thing, When the Labour Party decided with races, black and white. Alan Chastney was white, he should not be Prime Minister. And now the problem of the country automatically now stalls there. And our focus now is about those who born in St. Lucia, whether parenting from here and the father from the States, wherever, so they cannot be Prime Minister. We lost everything that we were supposed to do. We now end up in racism, just the same thing we started in election. Racism in election, black, white, this and black, don't vote for a black man, vote for a white. Today, what is happening? The white right now are the one getting the better benefit of St. Lucia because global holding is not white people, huh?
Yeah.
They are white people. So it seems that we did not want to do business before with white people when we were in opposition, but all of a sudden right now, we want to do business with white, but at the same time, we just don't want a white to get involved in our business. You see how hypocrite we can be? And I am very much sorry for those persons that have been brainwashed with that all the time and forget about bread and butter issues. Forget about the crime situation that are plaguing this country. We are at 80 homicides so far. You see? And up to now, we have never had a decisive comment in terms of how we're going to deal. Look, you report that person during the festive Christmas Eve, that person should be looking after the business because of bandits or invaders or intruders, whoever they are. And most likely it will happen because that is what St. Lucia becomes right now. A land of no rule, no law, nothing. But you can just go and do what they want, and that's it. Tim, I just don't know how we get in where we are, especially even when Kenny Anthony Not even Kenny Anthony started with a risk card, Not even Kenny. But all of a sudden now, everything is about racist. And I've heard so many comments about whose family was born here. And look, you have a prime minister of Grenada, young, inexperienced prime minister. And when people talk about CARICOM and integration and CARICOM, one movement, one single market, but when you have another CARICOM prime minister can come to your country, and I call it disrespect, unaccepted statement making against the people of St. Lucia, and it involves the people of St. Lucia, not just Alan Chastanet. Alan Chastanet has been former prime minister. He's a representative from Micoud South. He's representing a constituency. Why lie? And these people, for some reason, can leave the country and believe because the Labour Party inviting them and be flair and coming with macho, and just can come here and disrespecting you. That is why Grenada had so many issues. Revolution, Maurice Bishop, But you can forget about all of this and come to St. Lucia and come and bring racist card, because that's how I look at it. That's a racist statement. And these people should be afraid and ashamed to go to those white countries. Where is that? Is in Dubai. Go to those white countries and ask for help, ask for aid, and ask for everything. I know that white people are looking at them very well, very close by. Tim, briefly, let me just say that there was some news I was watching, and that happened to be in Venezuela. Prior to in fact, way before our Prime Minister visited Grenada, Venezuela. One of the top Hezbollah leader was in Venezuela, okay? And I'm telling you things that the U.S. already, in fact, the United States has sanctioned against Venezuela, but it's going to be more decisive. And there is a plan now for Hezbollah in Venezuela to try and assassinate American citizens in Venezuela.
Okay, call the BBC and have that discussion with them on that Hezbollah thing, all right? Thank you so much for calling. WhatsApp message, somebody says that, Tim, we need to tell Dickon Mitchell he doesn't need to come and teach St. Lucia what to do. Clean his front yard first. And let me see if I have another WhatsApp message. Somebody says there, good day, Tim, I need to pass on to Flo. It's a week. Flo workers were in the Gara area. The workers... they told me they were installing new equipment so we, the customers, can receive better service, but the internet is worse now. Every 10 minutes online, the system goes off. So, Flo, please take note and see how you can address that technical issue for your customers over in the Gara area. 452-2979, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. I think we have another call in line. Good afternoon. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Yes, thank you very much.
Hi, good afternoon, sir.
Yes. Yeah, Tim, I want to make a...
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, caller. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Wonderful. Yes, I wanted to make a comment on the whole citizenship for political leaders and or prime ministers in St. Lucia.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that in the past we've not had a policy as it pertains to who can be prime minister in St. Lucia. But if we look around the world, we have every other government. The U.S. right now, they're trying to ensure that persons who are born by foreigners in America do not receive citizenship.
Mm-hmm.
Both Donald Trump, Ramsamy, and a few other Republicans actually are pushing that. In the UK, it's been law for a very long time that if you are not born by UK citizen, you are not automatically given citizenship. My question is, a country with 258 square miles, 180,000 people, are we really saying that we should not even consider or even apply or attempt to consider having an immigration policy, especially for our top political position in the country, especially when we have opened the doorways for CIP, for foreigners from Russia, from India, from China, from wherever else to come into this country and become citizens? Are we saying with all these issues that we should not be in a position to at least say it is time to reconsider or to revise the policy as it pertains to political leadership in this country?
Okay.
I think it's a very disingenuous conversation.
This is my point. My reaction to this, sir, is the rationale for the resurfacing of this discussion. That is my deep concern. So, why you think this is an issue right now? Why you think it's being discussed? It's hold on. It's all about Alan Shastney. The guy was born in Martinique. His mother was not doing well during her pregnancy, wanted to have a healthy baby, wanted to have access to medical health care that was not available in St. Lucia, and she gave birth to a son in Martinique. He did not live in Martinique, go to school in Martinique, abandoned St. Lucia. He returned to St. Lucia, and he has been here ever since. So my concern is the rationale, the reason behind that, the motive. That is my issue, the motive.
So Tim, listen to me. I understand what you're saying, but the point is, I think what we're doing is that we're sending a message to the wider population to say to them, listen, it is not a conversation worth having right now. Now, is this something that we're supposed to at least listen to, look at it? If there are certain areas where we think it's political, that we should at least address it. But at the end of the day, I believe that we need to, especially with CIP coming on board. We have Chinese, we have Indians, we have Russians who are now coming into our country with the finance to buy any election. Are we not supposed to put measures in place to at least safeguard our sovereignty as a country? Are we supposed to say, okay, listen, we're just going to allow things to just go as per normal? So when, for example, a Chinese millionaire or billionaire comes into the country and goes to every household and says, listen, I can afford to pay $10,000 for each household to buy their votes, because solutions, we know that we are accustomed to selling our votes, that person can actually go in there, sell their votes, you understand, and then become the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, and then get policies in place that will benefit somebody else. We are being extremely naive.
I don't see that, caller. I don't see that as a threat now, in particular, because hold on, caller. I don't see that as a threat because the Chinese we are selling our passports to, and the Russians and the Syrians and Koreans or whoever, they have no deep interest in St. Lucia. They have They have no links. They have no association. They don't even live in St. Lucia. Just a few St. Lucians. Hold on. What we have, a few St. Lucians were benefiting from the CIP in the sense that they get to rent their homes to the Russians, and the Russians have never set foot in St. Lucia. They get to rent their homes to Syrians and so on. So I don't see that a threat right now. The threat is people will use whatever majority that they have at their disposal to victimize people, that 2/3 majority. That's what is the main concern for me right now, sir, as opposed to being nationalistic. That's what I think that is the motive right now.
So what you're telling me at the end of the day, America has been foolish in them trying to ensure that the next person who becomes a citizen is actually born by a naturalized American.
There's so many
things. For example, the policy of the UK.
Why we want to make reference to the US and the UK when it suits us? Why don't we look at the law specifically and say that if you have a particular background, if you have the proclivity to do certain things, illegal things and so on, that you automatically, that should be disqualifying you from being an MP or Prime Minister? Why the urgency to look at whether you are born in St. Lucia or not? What is the biggest priority right now?
Maybe, I'll be honest with you. I, as a proud St. Lucian, I look at St. Lucia and I realize St. Lucia has been recolonized on a daily basis. We do not look, listen to me, indigenous St. Lucia.
Recolonize in what way? Caller, what do we have to be talking about recolonize? What do we have? What can we do? Hold on, caller. Hold on. What can we do on our own to survive without having direct interaction or assistance
from
other countries?
We have not even tried. All we do at the end of the day, we have we basically we base our entire existence on the idea that we need somebody else to help us. Even for example, where's the call at the end of the day to help St. Lucians, to mobilize St. Lucians, not for political purposes, but at the end of the day to fight to build a better St. Lucia? Because at the end of the day, even when we have the mantra, a better St. Lucia, at the end of the day, we have not really come to the understanding that there are threats outside externally that we have not even begun to look at.
We should be more concerned, Call, about the internal threats. Okay? We have been governing ourselves in the wrong way, in the wrong direction from 1979 and even before that. Okay? By citizens, native people, St. Lucians, who have been making all the bad decisions. The problems continue to be continuous. Bugbears like crime, mishandling of the economy, corruption by our governments and the cronies. Okay? But we are doing it ourselves. We don't look external. We are doing it ourselves.
But listen to me, even when we look at crime, for example, we look at crime. At the end of the day, we have the impression that somehow 17 persons or 17 individuals will somehow save us. Save 180,000 people from crime.
Not save us.
We ourselves are not willing to do what we're supposed to do.
Not save us.
We think that somehow, we have this myopic view that somehow, by pointing fingers to one individual, two individuals, that it absolves us of our responsibility.
They are the ones.
We all have a responsibility.
They are. Listen, Gola. Listen, Gola.
Of the opposition.
Listen, Gola. Listen, Gola. Listen.
Encouraging crime.
Listen, Gola. They are the legislators. They are the ones who setting the laws,
yes,
and they are sitting there and sometimes facilitating the breaking of our laws and ensuring that it's only poor people end up behind bars. But anyway, let's end the conversation, sir. We have to move on, sir. Thank you so much for your spirited conversation. What is in the chat room as we continue with your calls and your WhatsApp messages? Let me take a WhatsApp call. Hello, good afternoon. NewsSpin, you're on the air. Hello.
Yes, good afternoon, Timothy. How are you doing?
I'm okay, caller. Good afternoon to you.
Okay. Well, I do appreciate the last callers. Before I go there, Timothy, when you start your show, you always say that this show is open to discuss anything, matters of concern.
Mm-hmm.
And I have observed that you are almost anti-international happenings and international news, and I'll tell you why.
Mm.
There's this gentleman from Deriso that called, he normally calls you, I think he was the caller before this one or the third one. And the other day he was attempting to explain Israel and Palestine relation, and then you wouldn't have it. Today again, regional security, meaning regional Caribbean security, has been very important. It has been said many years that in the future, not too long from now, terrorists are going to use those small islands because we have cruise ships coming, we have the airports. Terrorists are going to use those small islands because of our porous borders and poor security, right? To infiltrate and to cause harm to other citizens of other countries. This gentleman told you that some persons from Hamas or whatever was in Venezuela and you would have none of it. It's time that we start to have that conversation about our regional security and safety also of visitors to our shores. And I think that you are doing a disservice every time somebody... Let me ask you a question, Timothy. Do you know who Thomas Sankara was?
No, I don't.
Thomas Sankara.
No, I don't.
What about Steve Biko?
Yes.
Right. So these people are African leaders that has been killed.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody is calling to give general information to the public, even if you are not aware of it, or even if you have no idea what it is, once the person is sounding like they know what they're talking about, but you seem to be almost anti-international news.
Okay, caller.
But anyway,
I read international news. I follow international news. I'm aware of what's happening. But from time to time, sir, you will always disagree with how I'm managing the broadcast. But it is my responsibility to manage the broadcast as I deem fit. You'll never agree with everything I do. You understand? So
I agree with that.
That is the responsibility I have. Mm.
I know that. Let me ask you one question. So don't you think what the gentleman was saying there a while ago, referring to this group that was in Venezuela, don't you think that was valuable? Don't you think it was necessary information to bring us Okwa with what's happening in our region?
Well, I am assuming that my people read, so they go to the BBC. No, hold on. That's a different audience. My audience is a totally different audience in that particular issue. Hold on. They do not rely on NewsSpin to talk about Hamas. They get information on Hamas and Israel. Okay, it can be. They turn to the BBC and CNN. Hold on, caller, and Al Jazeera. All right, they tune into NewsSpin. Hold on, caller. They tune into NewsSpin to talk about the issues that are really impacting us in our country, and when it's happening externally, what impact it can have on us. Okay, and I steered the conversation in a particular direction.
Yeah. Okay. Next issue. I have a daughter that was born here. Her mom is born here. They're St. Lucians. And at present, she's in the United States. She's in the Army. And I have a grandson that was born in St. Croix. Okay? And I believe that, especially the CIP program, if you're going to say you're going to restrict leadership of this country to CIP persons, I fully agree with that, with CIP persons. But do not tell me my grandson that was born in St. Croix, of St. Lucian mom, her grandmother is from St. Lucia, everybody's from St. Lucia, she was born up there, and they have now come back here to live. Do not tell me that he or she cannot be Prime Minister of this country. But I agree, you see the CIP program, and that should have been from the inception. From the inception of CIP, it should have been clearly stated that CIP nationals, CIP passport holders of St. Lucian passport would have not been eligible for Prime Minister of this country. I thought that was already on the table, but apparently it wasn't. It's not. But I don't believe that our grandchildren that went up to study and maybe they have a child up there, they come back to St. Lucia and they live in St. Lucia. I don't believe that we have to deny them that opportunity of serving their country. I believe it is wrong. Okay, I believe it is wrong, but I believe that the CIP persons should not be prime ministers of our country. That is what I believe. Thank you very much, Timothy.
Much appreciated, sir. Thank you so much. Still to come, somebody says, I'm not the face of racism, as you continue to watch NewsSpin on YouTube as well as the NewsSpin Facebook page and listen on Power 97.9 FM.
It all started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
Lazarus's Funeral Home is here for you. Lazarus's Private Cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's Private Cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for tombs. Call us in Vidbuta at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, VA4, 454-6555.
It's my life and I want more. More time, more power. Pay my Lucy like bill isn't hard. I pay with credit or debit card. Pay direct to Lucy like my account. I have the power, yeah. Pay online to Lucy like my account. Anywhere, any day, any hour. Lights are on at home. No more standing in line. No more worrying about my bill. Now I'm all paid up. Got more time to chill, yeah, yeah. Pay my Lucy like bill isn't hard. I pay with credit or debit card.
Register today to set up LuCelect My Account by going to www.myaccount.lucelect.com on any device. Follow the steps to register and pay your electricity bills directly to LuCelect online and get back to your life. For now, this service is available to customers with domestic accounts only.
Join us at the KFC Recruitment Pop-Up. KFC is searching for enthusiastic team members, supervisors, restaurant managers, delivery drivers, cyclists, and riders. Friday, December 1st at Constitution Park, Castries, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Join the KFC team and receive exceptional training and amazing benefits. Take this opportunity to shape your future with KFC. See you at the pop-up.
Things are heating up at the National Farmers and General Workers Credit Union Limited. We've got some red-hot deals just for you with 100% financing. Rev up for some excitement with our incredible vehicle loan offer. Building or renovating, we've got you covered. Or pack up for that ideal getaway. This offer won't be available forever. Visit us today and take advantage of this limited time deal. Don't miss out on these fantastic deals with 100% financing. Only at the National Farmers and General Workers Credit Union Limited. We're your friend when you're in need.
If you suffer with pain from fibromyalgia, lupus, sickle cell anemia, sciatica, or arthritis, Lockley DeCoste doctor specialists from overseas in St. Lucia will diagnose and treat patients who have been suffering long. Lockley DeCoste specialists will treat the symptoms of stroke, brain injuries, spinal cord injuries with shoulders, elbows, knees, back, and neck pain, even plantar fasciitis being a pain of the past. Lockley DeCoste specialists in St. Lucia EMG tests will measure the damage in neuromuscular disorders and diabetic neuropathy because Lockley DeCoste doctor specialist provides proper diagnosis using the most effective treatment for you to live free of pain.
La Clinique Ducor. Call 451-6559 or 721-9950. La Clinique Ducor, located at number 17 High Street, Castries.
This holiday season flows your trusted bag with giveaways and cash to spread far and wide. Worth over 150,000 you heard right. This Christmas is on us so you can go wild. Appliances for your home, laptop or phone, shopping sprees and cash galore. We're covering your holidays with joy for sure, cause when you are with Flow, you win more.
Hey guys, Flow wants you to know this Christmas is on us. Win over $150,000 in cash and prizes when you sign up, bundle up, switch up, pay up, top up, or activate a combo plan. Every day is a grand giveaway. Prizes include shopping sprees, appliances, ham, wine, and cold hard cash. This Christmas is on us. Visit in store or online today at discoverflow.co for more info.
Night Meds is your dependable neighborhood pharmacy. You'll notice that upon entry, you are greeted by caring professional staff, attentive to your every need. Your prescriptions are always treated with a high degree of confidentiality, and we pride ourselves on providing speedy, efficient service. We carry a wide array commonly requested over-the-counter products, and our prices are very competitive. We offer blood pressure testing, blood sugar, and cholesterol testing. We're open to fill your prescriptions Monday to Saturday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Come visit Salu's gas station on the Miku Highway or call us at 572-6840 or WhatsApp 461-6840 for more information. Night Meds Pharmacy. We are your community med store.
Can't get a break from all this tax? Head to Automotive Art and get a taxcation. Automotive Art is offering you an ease from VAT and health and safety levy with savings of up to 15% and more. That's right, 15% of all tools, 15% of all accessories, 15% of car detailing, 15% of all rims, 15% of computerized wheel alignment, and 15% and more of selected tires with savings of up to 30% on some sizes. It's Automotive Art Taxcation. Visit us at Automotive Art at Vidbuchai Castries and Latuni Vieux today and enjoy a taxcation. Offer valid for limited time. Some conditions apply. See stores for details.
Are you working that 9-to-5 job but also juggling a side hustle? Well, Elks Credit Union has great news for you. Introducing Elks Credit Union Side Hustle Boost Loan. Need funds to take your side hustle to the next level? With our Side Hustle Boost Loan, you can access up to $50,000, giving your side hustle the boost it needs. And here's the best part. You'll have up to 5 years to pay it back with flexible repayment options that suits your budget. Whether it's expanding your inventory, upgrading your equipment, or marketing your services, Elks Credit Union is here to support your entrepreneurial dreams. Don't let your side hustle remain just a dream. Let Elks Credit Union empower you to turn it into a thriving reality. Boost your side hustle today with Elks Credit Union's Side Hustle Boost Loan. Contact us now or visit our website for more information. Elks Credit Union, your partner in success. Terms and conditions apply.
It's coming. The brunch of the century. Welcome to Sunburnt. Sunday, November 26th. Sunburnt. Sunburnt. It's coming.
Coming soon, Blast Gaming, powered by the St. Lucia National Lottery, changing lives.
And also at the open meeting of the Conference of Delegates of the St. Lucia Labour Party, the political leader and Prime Minister of St. Lucia, Philip J. Pierre, addressed a particular issue, and that is the inclusion of independent MP Richard Frederick in his cabinet. This is what he said.
I want to tell you something. The only party that Richard Fredericks has run elections for is not the Labour Party. But Richard Fredericks is willing to subscribe to the discipline, and the policies of the St. Lucia Labour Party, and Richard Fredericks is a member of the cabinet of the St. Lucia Labour Party.
Prime Minister of St. Lucia and political leader of the SLP, Mr. Philip J. Pierre. Let's continue with your calls, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages, 716-2026. We have a call in line. Good afternoon. You are on the air.
Hello, Tim.
Hi, good afternoon, Derek.
That was a pretty hectic and boisterous exchange you had there with a caller.
Yes.
Pretty good. Did I get the impression, was I right, did I form the right impression that he had reservations about our CIP program?
Yes, it came across that way.
Came across that way? I want to be correct.
Yes.
What exactly was his concern, his reservation? That somebody with money could come up
and by the election, and according to him, we have a tendency to sell our votes.
So I thought I heard him suggesting that he could buy himself into the prime ministership of St. Lucia.
Maybe that's what he was suggesting.
Yeah.
Because
so,
we all know that a lot of voters are so frustrated now. They'll tell you that they are selling their votes for a certain amount of money. And if they are not given that money, they will not step out of their homes to cast a ballot for any politician.
I know that's a big business now. Guys are openly saying those things openly. But Tim, what's interested me, we have a CIP program that, as far as I know, there are no barriers to Saudis, Arabs, Iraqis, Americans, anybody can come in and invest here in terms of building a factory. Of course, nobody has seen fit to do that.
Since the invasion of Ukraine by Russia, I think the Russians have been disqualified.
Okay. So anyway, we are open to having all these people coming and buy our passports and becoming St. Lucians, and by all accounts having the same rights as St. Lucians, right?
Yeah.
Because there's no barrier saying you can't do this or you can't do that. They sell it that you have the same rights in St. Lucia. And not only do you have the same rights in St. Lucia, you can go and have the same rights in Dominica and St. Vincent.
Yes,
St. Vincent
the OECS.
Does Rod allow that?
No.
Okay. So, Tim,
He has said clearly that citizenship is the highest office in the land and is not for sale. Remember that?
Yeah. Ralph is on. He didn't mention that at the convention though. But I was thinking, Tim, the easiest thing in the world is for a super rich Saudi. I don't know what his reason might be, but a super rich Saudi might come here and make himself a minister of government in the prime minister's office. He could easily do it as things now stand. So why is there no concern about that to pass a law that restricts the Saudis or anybody from enjoying any of these rights? I mean, we could stop that tomorrow. I mean, we could simply announce tomorrow that henceforth the CIP guys are not entitled to certain things. But as far as I know, they're entitled to everything we're entitled to. Isn't that so?
Don't you think that this would have been challenged or could be challenged legally?
Who would challenge them?
Those people who have purchased our citizenship, our passports?
The Russians would challenge us if we have a law?
Don't you think they would deem it to be unconstitutional? Because they are citizens. Why do that to a citizen?
No, I'm saying, I get your point. But what I'm but I'm saying right now, if like Kenny Anthony likes to keep his reservations to himself, reservations that affect the country, but he likes to keep those reservations to himself. He was the one who introduced and sold us on CIP in the first place, remember?
Yes, he did, yeah.
And everything he said about it was wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. But then we heard from him last year, I think it was, where he said he always had reservations about it, and he allowed himself to be talked into it, but he never told us what the reservations were. And I'm wondering if the reservations have something to do with one day a Russian will be holding office in the office of Prime Minister, not necessarily Prime Minister, but working from the Prime Minister's office. That is possible right now, right?
Yes, it is.
So why don't such as your caller, your boisterous caller, start making noise right now? Forget about the other things, what the Russians might and might not do. Why don't we, callers such as he, start petitioning the government to amend the law so that these foreign solutions have no chance whatsoever getting involved. Well, and I say that I'm sounding stupid to myself, Tim, because these guys are involved in everything we do. These guys are I think that right now we are close to CIP being the biggest money earner for us, no?
Just about so.
We are close to that.
And a big money earner for some lawyers and well-placed individuals in our country.
Yes, well-placed lawyers. So right now, these people are feeding us anyway. So I wonder why, if that might be the reason why I've heard no kind of complaint about these Saudis and so on with St. Lucian citizenship.
Because we did not see it as we were myopic and we didn't see it as a priority at the time when it was launched in late 2015.
Well, I wouldn't want to say that.
Because Rick, let me tell you, it's all about motive, okay? Right now, this whole thing about you, people are suggesting, at least some individuals suggesting, you must be born in St. Lucia to be prime minister, is because they're aiming at one particular individual. When CIP was launched, it was not seen in that particular light, sir, that foreigners are going to come here and want to contest elections.
Tim, we are hearing now that the Prime Minister had reservations, so we don't know what those were. So maybe he owes the country something to tell us what he's holding in his pocket, what were those reservations. But it's ironic that we would be less concerned, as things stand, about a Russian becoming Prime Minister of St. Lucia, as the gentleman said, buying his way. We are less concerned about that than we are about Alan Chassé.
Yeah.
Or my kid who was born, he's an American citizen. We're concerned about things like that, or other people in England who have St. Lucian kids. We're concerned about them and whether they have a right to be prime minister, rise in the politics of the country, contribute to the country. We are less concerned about the Russians than we are with them. That is the point when the guy was talking. You know, it occurred to me, we have no concern about some Ukrainians, some Russians, some Hitlerians, some hate black people, everywhere, deep down, according to the propaganda. All white people hate black people, right?
I've heard this before.
Tim, we have to laugh, We're already making monkeys of ourselves, The thing, I imagine myself sitting with friends overseas, I have a lot of them, and explaining to them what passes for serious life in this country that we all claim to love so much. Such pappy show. We leave all kinds of important things to talk nonsense. I mean, like that Prime Minister from Grenada. I mean, thinking about this guy, I really was looking forward to this man talking about the problems we have in common, outside the world problems we have no control over. Instead, the guy is getting involved in the cheapest aspect of our domestic politics. Is that how all the islands are? Is that why we are all in the same basket, crab basket? Is that it? Our thoughts are all the same? Stupid? Thank you very much, dude.
Thank you so much, Rick. The broadcast will continue in just a moment. Somebody says, I'm not the face of racism. As you continue to watch NewsSpin on our NewsSpin Facebook page as well as on YouTube and listen on Power 97.9 FM.
There is only one option when they arrive. Our services will make the dead look alive. With Bouteille and Beaufort accessibility. Remember, we have the only private cemetery. No one can match our prices from coffins to corsage. Personalized service you get when Lazarus take charge. Quality service, no package to make your wallet bleed. Lazarus is your true friend in your time of need.
It's my life and I want more. More time, more power. Pay my Lucy like bill isn't hard. I pay with credit or debit card. Pay direct to Lucy like my account. I have the power, yeah. Pay online to Lucy like my account. Anywhere, any day, any hour. Lights are on at home. No more standing in line. No more worrying about my bill. Now I'm all paid up. Got more time to chill, yeah, yeah. Pay my Lucy like bill isn't hard. I pay with credit or debit card.
Register today to set up LuCelect My Account by going to www.myaccount.lucelect.com on any device. Follow the steps to register and pay your electricity bills directly to LuCelect online and get back to your life. For now, this service is available to customers with domestic accounts only.
It all started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
This holiday season flows your trusted guide with giveaways and catches spread far and wide. Worth over 150,000 you heard right. This Christmas is on us so you can go wild. Appliances for your home, laptop, phone, shopping sprees and cash galore. We're covering your holidays with joy for sure, cause when you are with Flow, you win more.
Hey guys, Flow wants wants you to know this Christmas is on us. Win over $150,000 in cash and prizes when you sign up, bundle up, switch up, pay up, top up, or activate a combo plan. Every day is a grand giveaway. Prizes include shopping sprees, appliances, ham, wine, and cold hard cash. This Christmas is on us. Visit in store or online today at discoverflow.co for more info.
Things are heating up at the National Farmers and General Workers Credit Union Limited. We've got some red-hot deals just for you with 100% financing. Rev up for some excitement with our incredible vehicle loan offer. Building or renovating, we've got you covered. Or pack up for that ideal getaway. This offer won't be available forever. Visit us today and take advantage of this limited time deal. Don't miss out on these fantastic deals with 100% financing. Only at the National Farmers and General Workers Credit Union Limited. We're your friend when you're in need.
Join us at the KFC Recruitment Pop-Up. KFC is searching for enthusiastic team members, supervisors, restaurant managers, delivery drivers, cyclists, and riders. Friday, December 1st at Constitution Park, Castries, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Join the KFC team and receive exceptional training and amazing benefits. Take this opportunity to shape your future with KFC. See you at the Pop-Up.
If you suffer with pain from fibromyalgia, lupus, sickle cell anemia, sciatica, or arthritis, likely to cause doctor specialists from overseas in St. Lucia will diagnose and treat patients who have been suffering long. Likely to cause specialists will treat the symptoms of stroke, brain injuries, spinal cord injuries with shoulders, elbows, knees, back, and neck pain, even plantar fasciitis being a pain of the past. Likely to cause specialists in St. Lucia EMG tests will measure the damage in neuromuscular disorders and diabetic neuropathy, because likely to cause doctor specialists provides proper diagnosis using the most effective treatment for you to live free of pain.
La Clinique Ducor. Call 451-6559 or 721-9950. La Clinique Ducor, located at number 17 High Street, Castries.
Can't get a break from all this tax? Head to Automotive Art and get a taxcation. Automotive Art is offering you an ease from VAT and health and safety levy with savings of up to 15% and more. That's right, 15% of all tools, 15% of all accessories, 15% of car detailing, 15% of all rims, 15% of computerized wheel alignment, and 15% and more of selected tires with savings of up to 30% on some sizes. It's Automotive Art Taxcation. Visit us at Automotive Art at Vidboutai Castries and Latunivier for today and enjoy a taxcation. Offer valid for limited time. Some conditions apply. See stores for details.
Are you working that 9-to-5 job but also juggling a side hustle? Well, Elks Credit Union has great news for you. Introducing Elks Credit Union Side Hustle Boost Loan. Need funds to take your side hustle to the next level? With our Side Hustle Boost Loan, you can access up to $50,000, giving your side hustle the boost it needs. And here's the best part. You'll have up to 5 years to pay it back with flexible repayment options that suits your budget. Whether it's expanding your inventory, upgrading your equipment, or marketing your services, Elks Credit Union is here to support your entrepreneurial dreams. Don't let your side hustle remain just a dream. Let Elks Credit Union empower you to turn it into a thriving reality. Boost your side hustle today with Elks Credit Union's Side Hustle Boost Loan. Contact us now or visit our website for more information. Elks Credit Union, your partner in success. Terms and conditions apply.
It's coming. The brunch of the century. Welcome to Sunburnt. Sunday, November 26th. Sunburnt. Sunburnt. It's coming.
Coming soon, Blast Gaming, powered by the St. Lucia National Lottery, changing lives.
A lot of people would not have known about me is that I have an older sister. So before my parents got married, I think you were telling the story about when you were in New York, their love overcame them. and it produced a child. And that child is my sister Abigail, who was adopted. So before my mother had told my father about the situation, the child had already been adopted. And I got to meet her for the first time when I was 19 years of age. But the purpose of that is that the condition that my parents had was that rhesus negative, meaning my parents had opposite blood types. So, you know, a lot of persons don't appreciate that when you used to have to take a blood test when you got married, people didn't understand why that was. But that was really to determine that condition. Technology has moved on so much so that today, once they understand that you are rhesus negative, that what they do is they give you a pill, and that resolves the issue. But back then, in the 60s, when I was born, every additional child the parents had, the situation would get progressively worse. So my parents had anticipated the difficulty that I was going to have, and that was the reason why I was born in Martinique. And I obtained a blood transfusion when I was born. Persons would also have not known that I had a brother, Russell, who was born, I think it was a year and a half after me. And like me, my mother went to Martinique to have the child. And sadly for my brother, he did not survive the blood transfusion. My younger sister, which more people are familiar with, Fiola, was born 3 years after that. And because they knew that it was going to be a difficult birth, that she was actually born in Boston. Boston is because where my father's family were at university. And my sister was the first child to have survived 7 blood transfusions. Now, I say that because that gives context to why I was born in St. Lucia. But on this matter with being born in St. Lucia, a lot of persons may not have appreciated, but the Constitution of St. Lucia has language in it to ensure that a person who is going to hold an office of either being an MP or a cabinet member or a prime minister, that their loyalty to St. Lucia is enshrined. And how does the Constitution do that? It says that you cannot obtain citizenship of another country by your own hand. It means that you can't apply to be a citizen and declare loyalty to that country and then turn around and want to hold office in St. Lucia. And it's for that reason that when I decided to enter the fray of politics, even though it wasn't elected and it was as a senator, I was a U.S. citizen. And I had applied to become a U.S. citizen. And I gave up that citizenship to be in compliance with the Constitution of St. Lucia. So you cannot serve in the realm of politics in this country and have mixed loyalties in that regard. I will say no more on the matter, and other than to say that I endorse the party's position on racism. There is no place for racism. I'm even more disgusted by some of the comments that are being made by my colleagues in support of me. And I won't even repeat what is being said. It's very sad. And I'm hoping that other St. Lucians will see it as distasteful as I do and provide their own commentary. But it's the typical answer that anytime anybody shows any independence of thought or contrary to what you think, the easiest thing to do is to go down the road of racism and to suggest why a person would be supporting what they appear to be a white man. And I have to tell you, I resent the fact that Richard Frederick would attempt to make me be the face of slavery, the face of colonialism, the face of plantocracy.
The leader of the opposition speaking yesterday during a mid-morning press conference of his United Workers' Party. We turn our attention to your calls and WhatsApp messages. WhatsApp message, somebody says, Boris Johnson was born in the U.S. Why isn't the caller referring to that instance? And that individual goes on to say, what about Sir John? Also, his argument is shallow about foreign nationals coming in and buying votes because, as we saw in the last election, 2 operatives of the SLP were filmed paying for votes. And also, he is making no allowance for the fact that a party has to elect their own leader. No Russian, etc., will want to leave their life to come and run for office here. And even if they did, how they get the constituency and the party to support them? They have to satisfy certain residency requirements to run as a candidate. We have a call. Good afternoon. NewsSpin, you're on the air.
Timothy, a pleasant good afternoon to you and your listeners all over the world. PW on the line, Timothy.
Good afternoon to you, sir. How are you?
I am absolutely fine. I realize that it's very difficult to get your line these days.
Very.
But I'm still trying, Timothy.
Go ahead, sir. You're
Timothy,
successful today.
international affairs, Peter Willie. Timothy, I've heard so many times that solutions have called NewsSpin, and they have very little knowledge of what happens internationally. What happens in also their country, they're not knowledgeable. They listen to propaganda, they listen to fake news, they listen to what other people say. Take, for example, the case in point of a caller a few weeks ago was telling you that the Chinese, are bad people. They gave X loan to an African country, and now the African country has defaulted on their loans to the Chinese, and the Chinese are taking their pot back. I want to ask that caller, Timothy, did the Chinese put a gun to that African leader head to make him, you understand, sign a pot to the Chinese? Timothy, we elect people to make the best decisions for us, and that is what we elect. If we make a bad deal, like we are making a bad deal now, to GPH, $1 for $4, that is a bad deal. That can get us in problems, and that can make us eventually, be under mercy of GPH. That is what it is. So people need to read and understand. Look at the embargo on Cuba. What has the Cubans done to us? The Cubans have done good things to us. Their ideology is different from us. But guess what? You understand. What have they done to us? They've sent doctors, they've sent nurses to help at our health institute. So we shouldn't have any bad ideas about the Cuban people. As you know, that every year there is a vote at the UN to lift the embargo on Cuba. You understand? And the US and Israel is one of the only countries that vote against lifting the embargo. This is an illegal embargo on Cuba. As you know, Fidel Castro came to power in 1959, and this embargo is still on Cuba. So we don't have to sing the same songs the Americans singing on the Russians, on Venezuela too. You understand? A lady called your show and say Venezuela doesn't have toilet paper. When was the last time she went to Venezuela? And you were there, Timothy. You should have corrected her. You understand? All the supermarkets in Venezuela are full up with all sorts of items. So when people don't know, Maduro is the legitimate leader of Venezuela. The Americans are talking to him we should be talking to Maduro as well. There is nothing that prevents us from talking to a leader of a country the United Nations have endorsed, and we should get our priorities straight, and we should put our country first, not America first, the interest of America or the global West. We should not do that, but we should put the interest of our country first and foremost. Timothy, I thank you.
Thank you so much for calling, sir. We have another call via WhatsApp. Hello and good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air. Hello.
Tim, good day. How are you doing?
I'm okay,
Tim,
sir.
Good day. How are you doing?
I'm okay. Good afternoon to you.
Tim, now, out of respect for the Prime Minister of Grenada, when I didn't want to mispronounce his name. So I went on, I Googled his Prime Minister of Grenada. I got a statement, his actual statement. Permit me to just read it. It's one line.
Mm-hmm.
I want all St. Lucians to hear me. When the time comes, make sure that is St. Lucians who you put into office. I don't know if that's the way he said it or that's the way it's reported. But I want to agree with Rick earlier, Tim. Sometimes I don't know whether to laugh or whether to cry, when I listen to our conversation. What we debate, what we spend so much time on radio discussing. That caller you had, Tim, that seemed to have been pushing the idea of the constitutional change. Wasn't it in St. Lucia when CIP started? Even Kenny Anthony said that he had his reservations about CIP. Man, you're selling passports all over the place to anybody who gives you money. And then you're worried about a St. Lucian that's born, who has parents who are born in Matnik. Just where you can almost swim to Matnik and come back. Are we crazy or are we just mad or we just have a problem, Tim? Lord Blakey, a Trinidadian calypsonian, Tim, he has a funny calypso. And where he mentioned Sparrow. He said he heard Sparrow is giving trouble and he heard Metis from Grenada. So they will go and find Sparrow and beat him up and ship him back to Trinidad, to Grenada, in a box. Anytime you have a chance, listen to Lord Blakey.
I will endeavor to do that.
I fought for a long time that Sparrow was a Trinidadian,
So you only know...
Sparrow was born in Grenada.
Just recently you knew that?
No, Tim, honestly, I thought Sparrow was a Trinidadian.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have the same Grenadian Prime Minister coming in and talking that kind of foolishness.
Singing Francine was also born in Grenada.
Well, Tim, I tell you honestly, I didn't know that.
Okay.
But Sparrow is doing damn good in Trinidad.
Yeah.
Where the man is a master of calypso, and you tell me the Grenadian Prime Minister is there talking foolishness about... Boy, let me tell you, Tim, I always say politicians are our biggest problems,
I don't think politicians are the problem. We are the problem, We tolerate all the nonsense and the stupidness from them.
Tim, the politicians endorse all the stupidness.
We provide fertile
the guys
ground.
Who come in who can hardly get a job, and all of a sudden they are the masters.
We facilitating it, caller. We are the ones facilitating it.
I agree, but they are accomplices, Tim. The politicians are accomplices to that too. The madness. Thank you very much.
Okay, caller.
Tim.
Thank you so much. Kimani, the chat room. Long overdue for an update.
Someone says, Tim, it's okay to tell PW that you miss him. Do you want to tell him that you miss him, Tim, or do you even miss him?
I mean, when you have so many calls coming in on a daily basis, WhatsApp calls there, you have all kind of messages coming. You don't get the time to miss people, to miss your audience. to miss your callers.
Someone says, Tim, we hate white people, but we are begging for a visa to the USA. LOL. I never heard anyone looking to go to South Africa. Where we boss about? The Lucian study or working in the white man's country, but seeing how they don't have to have them in our country. Burning their visa to stay in the white man's country. Something is seriously wrong with the Lucian mindset. Another comment, and y'all are saying give the young people a chance, and look how one just disappointed everyone. Was expecting a powerful statement from him as a young prime minister. Someone says, if you can afford to pay for citizenship, would you need to run for a leadership position in a corrupt island where the legal system is medieval? So true, Rick. As a very young PM, I was expecting a lot more from that Grenadian. Someone says the guy was quite right about our borders. I have always said soon terrorists will be committing acts of terrorism right here in the Caribbean, especially with all these cruise ships visiting our ports. However, that's not important because we are too focused on politics in the country rather than our own safety. Someone says, all of a sudden we want a better St. Lucia, but Chasney was not good enough to give us a new St. Lucia SMH. Someone says, there is a difference between CIP and having Lucian heritage. Caller, your argument is useless because for CIP, all you need to do is stipulate in the terms and conditions that they or their descendants cannot be PM. Simple. These Caribbean leaders use the unity word conveniently when it suits them. It would be interesting to know how the Constitution speaks as it relates to OECS nationals. I drive with a valid St. Lucian driver's license in every other OECS island, and also drive with a valid St. Kitts and Nevis driver's license in St. Lucia, as they are supposed to allow us the same benefits. I worked in several OECS islands without the need for a work permit. Would want to know where our OECS status leaves us as it relates to entering politics across the islands.
We have a WhatsApp call as we say hello and good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air. Hello.
Good afternoon, team.
Hi.
Good
Good afternoon to you, caller.
Okay. Tim, I am a little disturbed, not because of what has been said about the changing of our constitution, but because of what our people did, Tim. And I think that it is one thing to go about making a map. And we've all known that it is silly and it is disrespectful when you make those kinds of statements about, am I the one I'm having the noise?
No, go ahead, caller. Go ahead. Yeah, we're listening to you. Go ahead.
Okay. Yes, there was the noise in the background.
Yeah, but just try to ignore it.
When you say about all of those things about racism, black and calling the man a white man and all of that, when, Tim, a lot of us have a whole lot of degrees. We are not more intelligent because intelligence was made before books. Now, when we have gone on and we have had racism being perpetuated in this country and being pushed, a little island that has 180,000 people, and you're pushing this kind of racism thing. We call, we insult, we slander, there's a name calling instead of us dealing with issues. We have become a very heated nation. We hate, we have anger, we humiliate people, like calling you short and all kinds of things. What are we coming to as a nation? Where are we going to teaching with people? But we have been speaking about those things and we have been saying that they're wrong and but now they have crossed the line, Tim. When they are going to interfere with our constitution, to interfere with just one man, this is worse than just Alan Chasney. This affects him, your child, my child, the children of St. Lucians, whether you're UWP or you're SLP supporter. You cannot tell me that there are SLP supporters who do not have their children being born in the United States or in other countries and coming back to them and raising them in St. Lucia. Okay? You cannot say that. Because this is not about UWP. This is not about Alan Chasney. This affects a decision made now. It's going to affect the generations to come. We have to be careful, and to people bringing up the narrative that it's about CIP. The government is in power. They have the power on CIP, what happens with CIP citizenship. So they can make their decisions concentrating on CIP. But to talk about solution, being a prime minister, that is affecting those solutions with solution parents. Parentage, and Aaron has solution grandparents. He has solution parents. Okay? So that does not apply to him in no kind of a way. But to change it and to say that a person who is not born solution, it is affecting SLP, people who have made their children out of people sitting on the fence, people in the diaspora, solutions in the diaspora, solutions in the United Workers' Party. It affects every solution. And this is what our people need to understand, that we cannot allow the government with a total majority to think that they can go in the house and do whatever they want. We need to put our foot down. We need to stand up and speak. We cannot let it just talk now and let it die. We have to keep pounding it and pounding it and pounding it every day. I'm going to tell you something, Tim. I am going to do everything in my power to make sure I am here to walk in this match, because the government cannot be allowed to go that far. I am happy to be born in a democracy, to be in a country where we have an opposition and a government. I'm proud to have that. So let us discuss what's happening in the country. Let us discuss what can be done. Let us oppose for oppose, not for opposing, but oppose. Let us be governed because we are government. But let us stop all this mapui, scandal, denigration, it's destruction. It's affecting every single one of us. And if people, because of partisan politics, will not stand up to him, there's some of us that are ready to put our lives on the line. You can call it what kind of names. You can make all kinds of use technology to make all kinds of rubbish about us and call our names. We're impervious to it because our love for our country comes first. Tim, what you're doing, they have insulted you. They have called you all kinds of names. Yet daily you are here on this program giving people the opportunity to discuss the truth of what's going on in this country. You have not been fazed. And a lot of us need to take that example and stand up in the face of what is wrong. This is our country. We have the power. When we put government in, they must govern and do not abuse the power they have. Alan Tasman should not be taken about this stupidness, because this is not about him alone. It is something that's going to affect all of us in St. Lucia, regardless of our political affiliation or non-political affiliation. We need to stand up and fight, and I am willing to fight him. The government must stop. They must govern. They're not in opposition. They are the government. They must stop the ridiculousness and give us what we deserve. I thank you, Tim.
Thank you so much for calling, ma'am. That's it as far as our calls. Let me turn my attention now to our NewsSpin news of the day. Survivors say that children as young as 10 took part in Hamas's October 7th attack. Survivors say that children as young as 10 took part in Hamas's October 7th attack. That's the broadcast. Thank you so much for watching on YouTube as well as the NewsSpin Facebook page and listening on Power 97.9 FM. My name is Timothy Poleon. Please join us same time tomorrow afternoon, 12:30, for another edition of NewsSpin. Goodbye.